Right guys, back with another tutorial of question 5. In this video we are going to be looking at 5.2. Be right back. Alright, so we're back at question 5 where we've been looking at access. We finished 5.1 in the previous video. We were looking at some table properties. We're now looking at 5.2 and it asks us to edit the form 5_2 to appear as shown in the example below. And then it's just got two bullets as notes. It says the airline field uses the TBLSA Airlines as the source, and then the picture 5SAA .png is found in your exam folder. So the picture is this one here that we're going to then insert into the form. Alright, so the best way to do this is always to start at the top, see what the top has, and then compare. And it's almost like we're going to find the difference in two images, and we're going to try and see what the differences are and try and correct the ones in our application to look like this example. So let's get started with going in to the form, double clicking on it, and there we go. So first of all, you can see straight off the bat over here the title, we've got FRM 5_2, and we should have it's saying passenger details, and if you notice it is in the center where right now ours is sitting here to the left. So let us go do that quickly. I'm going to go into design view. I'm going to click on this box. I'm going to stretch it to the end, and then inside here I'm going to change this to passenger details. And then what I want to do is open up the property sheet. Under format, I'm going to go look for something called text align. Right now it's set to general, and I'm going to center the text. That's why I stretched it all the way to the end so it would center it nicely in the middle. Alright, so if we go and have a look at it, there we've got something that's starting to resemble what we see here. Alright, so that was the first thing right at the top. Moving down now, we're going to look at our labels and our fields. And we can see already that this box is a lot smaller than what the application has. And they haven't got them all one on top of the other. They have separated three and put them to the side here with the image below it. So let us work first on getting this to the right size. Remember, we want to try and do it all at once, so we don't have to do the properties for each and every single box. So what I'm going to do is at least just get the first one to look similar to this, and then just copy the height and width of those boxes to the rest. Alright, so over here let's go to our layout. I think we need something that is going to be about there in width and roughly about there in height. So if you're happy with that look of that, what we're going to do is go here in properties, and we'll see here that width we have 5.667 and height we have 0.54 centimeters. So 5.667 and 0.54. What I'm going to do now is with my control, I'm going to select all these boxes together, so that when I change the format it will automatically change for all of them. So I hold the control now. Okay, so over here for width we had it at 5.667 and the height was 0.54. Alright, and as you can see, we've now got them all looking the same. And if we look at this, it's looking like the example. So now what I'm going to do is notice here it says passenger ID, passenger name, passenger surname, airport departure, airline. Okay, these five are there, and then with flight number, departure date, and arrival date. So I need to separate this to look the same. So the arrival date with its edit box, the departure date, the label with its box, and then the flight with its box. I'm going to use my arrow keys and just push it out to the side a little bit, then move it up to the top, and you'll see I'm going to get the first one to line up nicely. The second one is lined up nicely as well. It's just this third one that I need to get in line. So I'm going to click away to deselect the selection. Now I select the two that I want to move with the control key again, and then I just drag it down until I'm happy with that. Right, so far I've got them looking the same. If we go look at the example in the book, you can see we've got them very similar. Okay, now for the image, let's insert the image. For that, I'm going to go to my design view. In design view, under my design, I've got some controls, and I'm going to go and select this one. It says image, and then I'm going to draw the box over here of where I want my image to go. When I let go, once I've finished drawing it or sizing it, it will open up my browse, and now I need to go and find it. I've got mine saved in documents, Prelim 2021, and there we go. I say okay, and it places it in there for me. Now I'm going to just make some space here. Okay, there we go. Let's go have a look. And so far that is what we have. That is what we're supposed to have. So I think we're on the right track. Over here now, one thing we should notice is this box has a little drop down arrow, which means that this here is a combo box, and in ours there is no arrow, that single arrow that we need. So what we need to do is change this. But remember, there was a note, and it said here that the airline field, which is what we're going to be working with now, uses the table SA Airlines as the source. So the source for this list comes from this table. So I'm going to go into my design view. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the actual field and not the label. How do we tell that apart? If I click on this, if my property sheet is open, you'll see it says airline label. So that's the label. And this one here just says airline. So this is the field. I'm going to right click on the field. I'm going to say change to, and I want to change it to a combo box. You'll see the arrow gets placed in like we have in the test. And then I'm going to go to data, and I'm going to say that the row source, the source that I'm looking for, is something that I'm going to get from the table SA Airlines. Okay, if you remember, that's exactly what this hint said here, table SA Airlines. Right, so once that is done, I'm going to go back to my form. If I click on that little drop down arrow, you'll see now that all the airlines available are on this list. Alright, we're almost done with this. If we started at the top, we got the heading, we got all the fields the right way, we got that combo box, we got the image. There's something here that we don't see on ours. Can you see it's something missing here? So that is the date and time. So let us go into our design view. We're going to stick the date and time here inside the detail section. That's where they want it. But what happens is when you first click on date and time, it wants to ask you what format. Let's just have a look. You'll see that it wants the day, the month, and then the year, and then over here it's got our time, and then it's got the AM at the end. So we're looking for similar format. So we're going to go with this format. We're going to go with the PM because it wants a 12 hour clock, and then we click on OK, and you'll notice that it inserts it right at the top in the header. So I'm going to click on both of them with my control, select the two. I'm going to do a control and X to take it away from that section. I'm going to click within my details section, and when I paste, it will paste it in here. Now I can just use my arrows and position it roughly about where the paper wants me to put it. Alright, so when I go and view that, there we go with the date. If I go into my, okay, it looks like it's a little further. So what could happen is either they've put this into the footer of the form, or they've just stretched open the detail section. So if I were to go like this, and then grab these two and scroll them down, the same thing, the same feature, or at least the look would apply. So they would have to be specific if they were really looking to give you marks for that. But I feel what we've done does merit the full marks. We'll see when we get the memo. Alright guys, so that is the question 5.2 complete. It was 7 marks. The only thing that really gave us was the image and the airline. Everything else we had to read off the screenshot, and whenever we do that, I suggest you start at the top, go section for section. So we start with the header, see what the header looks like, then go to the detail section, look at the labels, look at the borders, look at all the different aspects within those different sections, and then hopefully we've picked up all the marks that that we're going to be able to get from this question. Alright guys, join me for the next video where we will be covering all the questions on queries. Until then, enjoy, keep practicing. Bye for now.